How do I spend my holidays? I usually spend the holidays alone in my room. I don't really like going outside or interacting with other people. Wait, let me rephrase it correctly. Interacting with other people takes a lot of energy. From me trying to decide what to do or to talk next is tiring. But on rare occasions when I feel like going outside, I often spend it with my friends or family, going to the mall or searching for a villa in Puncak, and stay there for like 2 or 3 days.
I'm kinda same with you. I spent my holiday resting at my house in Jakarta, and this resting means 12 hours of sleep, eat, playing games, or helping my mom bake stuff. But if my friend or family wants to go somewhere, I'll go with them. My friend from high school or me myself usually arrange a meet up on when holiday comes. We usually meet up at mall, cafe, or parks. While meeting up, we share both our stress and happy stories in the past few months of college. As with my family, my parents usually be the one who plan a trip. For example, my father. He used to organize a fishing trip to Ujung Kulon, and he used to take me when I'm having a holiday. Sadly, not every holiday we go fishing together, but it's okay because I can spend my holiday sleeping or going somewhere else.
There is a trend that comes to mind when we discuss a trend that affects negatively, and it's called purity. It's when people avoid media that deals with disturbing or heavy topics. Like, don't get me wrong, I understand when the topic is too disturbing to consume, but this trend goes a step further to harass others that consume the content. For example, there's this game that came out and it discusses a lot of disturbing content. One of those are about toxic relationship between a brother and a sister. One of those toxic traits is incest. So many people harass the creators and fans of the game, calling them names and giving them death threats, saying that they support incest, even though in reality they don't. The game doesn't romanticize it. The game even said it's toxic, but the people that follow the purity trend doesn't care, because if said media have something that they don't like, they will harass them even if the media is portraying said thing in a bad light or trying to inform when something is bad. For the sake of purity, they will discard any media literacy and just point accusation without proof or just making stuff up.
Okay, talking about a trend that have negative impact, I once see a trend of trying to stop a moving truck by blocking it. It's called the BM truck trend, and it was popular here in Indonesia a year ago. Many teenagers did this trend only to go viral on social medias, and this is highly stupid. I mean, not only it can kill themselves, but also breaking other people's property. I've seen a video where some teenagers block a truck near a housing area, and the shock driver swerved his truck and ended up crashing the house instead. Luckily, in 2023, this trend is no longer popular.
The picture I'm going to discuss is a picture with a blackboard and a hand holding a chalk, writing brand, name, logo, identity, colors, marketing, and strategy. So, from said picture, what is a brand? Branding is a complex subject to discuss since it has many theories to create a brand. But in simple terms, brand is a concept that makes the product or service that one made unique from other publicly available brands. But then again, it comes into another question. How is a brand created? Brand is created through meticulous and arduous steps, from deciding its name, to its color, to their logo, to their identity, their marketing, and even their strategy. But why do we need those components to create a brand? Because those are what makes a brand, of course, a brand. Their logo, their identity, their marketing. It's what creates them unique. It's what creates their personality. It's what creates them for a customer like us identify.
Making a brand requires novelty, and this novelty means there has to be something that is new, never been used by other brands before. These novelty principles can be applied to the aspects written in the picture. Brand names, logo, and identity is the face of the brand itself. Company has to make their brand as easy to remember as possible and show their identity through them. Big companies like Apple usually use only pictorial logo on their product, but people around the world already know it. They immediately recognize Apple's product by looking through the pictorial logo or even the product itself. This is because they speak their identity or quality through their products, so the buyer remembers the brand names and logo. Apple also used the principles of novelty by making simplistic design for their product logo and advertisement. Therefore, Apple is known for their simplistic design, and it becomes the identity of the brand.
For me, the main component of a brand is, of course, its identity. Without their identity, a brand would simply wouldn't be recognizable. There's nothing I can build upon. For example, when a brand trying to choose a name, color scheme, their logo without an identity, they couldn't decide the style of the brand. Imagine Starbucks with punk aesthetics but still sells their comfy cafe stick, or McDonald's but with Chinese aesthetics but still serving Kentucky Fried Chicken. Without an identity to build upon, a brand would simply either collapse or create utter nonsense. Now, this also comes into mind. How do we create professional branding? Now, the creation of a professional branding is a complicated one. The brand needs to decide their targets, its visual brand, and so on and so forth. But one of the subjects that, in my opinion, usually gets ignored is their advertising actions. I have seen big corporate brands, for example Burger King, creating an advert to appeal to younger audiences without researching about said generation first. I guess this could also include target market analysis, but back to the topic at hand, Burger King decides to make an ad with memes on it. A creative idea, but a horrible execution because they use outdated and now cringy memes. So, what about you, Devina?
Okay, I agree with you. Identity is one of the most crucial things in a brand. Like you said before, identity shapes the visual design such as logo, packaging, store architecture, etc. But there's other stuff we cannot ignore. The quality of the product or service the company serves. Sometimes company has a great vision, but their brand but that's not reflected on the product or service and ended up getting a bad stigma from their consumer. One of the example I found is Electronic Arts Game Company. They have a vision to deliver a fun gaming experience, but in reality, EA becomes a greedy game company. They make so many paid games with also many paid DLCs and resource packs. And without buying the DLC or the resource pack, players cannot access to some contents or feature or even the ending of the game itself. And because of that, EA got the greedy capitalist company as their identity from gamers all around the world. And talking about professional branding, I once again agree with your statement about that. Any aspect in professional branding cannot be ignored. They are connected like a sequence of action that has to be fulfilled one by one or step by step. The target market analysis is the most important because this step will determine the other step and the outcome. This step reminds me of human-centered design I learned back in semester 2. To design something for the audience, you have to put yourself in their shoes, which means we have to observe thoroughly the way our audience think and what type of language, culture, degree, social status, and many more. Not just throwing a bunch of random memes that is unrelated to the audience like Burger King did. Once you got the reference data, you can start naming and create visual brand image, making a brand strategy, and analyzing the market efficiency. One of the success examples I remember is Shopee in Indonesia. Shopee may be a brand from China, but most of Indonesians use it. It's because of their research of the target market. Shopee use music and collaborate with public figures that already known in Indonesia. Not just random public figures, they choose a trending public figures in a specific time, like Blackpink, back in 2018. On that time, Blackpink released their new song called Tutu, and it went booming around Indonesia. Shopee collaborated with them in their advertisement and even held a Blackpink concert in Indonesia. Okay, when I go out with my friend, sometimes we plan what to do before the meetup, but sometimes we don't. And if we already plan what to do before we go somewhere, we will stick with that plan though. If we happen, we usually just strolling randomly until we found something interesting to visit or to do. When strolling around, we usually chat about life, college, friends, and other happy or stressful experience. If me or my friend didn't find anything interesting during our stroll, we usually just go to food court or grocery stores and buy snack, sit somewhere and continue chatting while eating together. That's it. How about you, Kenzo?
Aha, I see. So that's what you did. For me, it's easy. We communicate. Let me elaborate. Say we're in a group of five, and we want to go out, but each with differing wants and needs. So, what do we know? What do we do? We discuss it with each other. Hey, why don't we go here? No, that's too far away. Okay, then why don't we go there? Fine by me. Fine by me. Like, so there's communication. Granted, there are times when it's difficult to decide a plan, but one thing is certain. Try to give each other an opinion and a thought. Don't ignore them. Don't let them feel left out. If so, then I cannot really guarantee you a well constructed schedule.
Okay, that part is so relatable to me. We're kind of same though. Okay. This discussion has come to an end, and thank you for coming for this discussion.
For me, thank you.